on how to take care of the sense of touch. So the sense of touch obviously comes through our skin. Our skin is the largest organ in the body. It makes up about 15% of our body weight, and we're constantly shedding skin. So in a 24-hour period, we shed roughly about 1 gram of skin, and we're constantly doing that. So we're constantly renewing, rebuilding our body, and then it's shedding and breaking down and turning into dust and disappearing in the environment around us. From an Ayurvedic perspective, we understand the skin to be very closely related to what we call Rakta Dhatu, which is basically the blood. So when there's really good luster in the skin, we can understand that the blood tissue in itself is probably in good shape and good form. And if it's not so much, then we consider looking at that amongst other things. So in terms of how we take care of the skin, we can obviously do that internally, because it all starts with what we eat and the quality of then how we digest that food, and then we can also support the skin internally via lovely herbs, and Ayurveda is full of so many fantastic herbs to support the skin. But today I wanted to talk and share with you a little tip about how you can take care of your skin and take care of that sense of touch from an external perspective. So to do that, I'm going to show you how to use what we call Garshana gloves, or dry brushing gloves. And the reason that we like these dry brushing gloves is that they help to exfoliate the skin. So all that dead skin cell loss that I was talking about, this helps to naturally encourage that and promote that, and improve the luster of the skin. It also works a little bit on the circulatory system, so supports that rasa, that lymph, and the rakta, that blood that I was just talking about a moment ago. It helps, gets that going, and you get this lovely connection through that sense of touch. So you yourself touching yourself, looking after yourself, there's a huge benefit in that in its own right. So a Garshana glove is made out of raw silk. So they're special gloves you can buy online. And because they're raw silk, not refined silk, they're slightly coarse, not really coarse, but slightly coarse, and they get a little bit bobbly over time as you wash them and use them. And that extra bobbliness, that supports the exfoliation process a little bit more. So we do this unclothed, and we start at the extremities. We start on the hands, and you can do circular motions on the joints, and then on the long limbs you can do long backwards and forwards kind of rubbing, and just create a little bit of friction. Same idea as if you were using an exfoliating cream or something like that, or in Ayurveda we have exfoliating powders we can use as well. But it's just to create a little bit of friction, a little bit of warmth, circular on the joints, and then we work upwards. We don't do the chest, but we do the abdominal area going in a clockwise fashion, following the shape of the colon. We can do the back, working across our back, and then we can come to our feet, again working upwards, knees. Really good to do the thighs, particularly focusing on the outer edges of the thighs and into the buttocks. And that's really good for smoothing fat tissue and really getting that moving, really good circulation deep into those areas. So once we've done that, it doesn't need to take that long to do it, but once we've done it, the benefit is that the pores are slightly opened, that there's some warmth because we've worked the skin a little bit, and it's open and ready to receive oil. So it's optional, you don't have to use the oil after using the gloves. You can just do that process and then hop in the shower and just rinse off any dead skin cells. Or if you want to, then you can use some kind of oil and apply some oil. So we call it Upyanga. I've done another video you can check out on how to apply oil. But we can apply the oil to the body in a similar sort of fashion and then get in the shower. So I've got a couple of different selections here, so sesame oil, cured sesame oil, or medicated oil, herbal oil. The great thing with the herbal oil is particularly if this process really helps open up the body ready to receive it before we then get in the shower. Now, of course, if you've got some broken, damaged, open, sore, sensitive skin, it wouldn't make sense to use some kind of rough exfoliating gloves on it. So we don't recommend it in those kind of circumstances. And in terms of frequency and how often you might want to do it, well, it depends, as always in Ayurveda, to the individual and to the season, the climate. So for example, if it's the dead of winter, if there's been a lot of sluggishness, if there's what we call a lot of armour or metabolic waste in the body, then that's a great time to do some Garshana, to do some dry brushing. And maybe relatively frequently, from daily to maybe sort of 3, 4, 5 times a week. If on the other hand, it's just a case of you've just accumulated some dead skin, but actually there's a tendency more to kind of an anxious disposition and extreme dryness and kind of thinness in the skin, then we wouldn't really want to do Garshana very often. So maybe just once in a while then, just literally to clear that accumulated dead skin, and then follow it more, spend less time really creating friction and just be a bit more gentle and nourishing kind of with that process, and then applying a nice relaxing oil before getting in the shower. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe, feel free to share with anyone who you think might be interested, and I look forward to checking in with you again soon.